Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2016 Warhammer YouTuber End of Year Awards. Oh my God, the nomination show is over. The year has ended, and now at last, we have come to the time to announce the winners. There's been a lot of talk. I saw Variety's article on it. I thought it was a great write-up. It's been all a buzz within the world of who's going to win. Who's going to win? There's so many questions. Joining me, of course, are my esteemed colleagues and the other part of my panel here. It is William Page and Mr. Kieran Dunlevy. How are you gentlemen doing tonight?
Doing great.
Well, I've just rushed home to do this because, of course, I was spending the rest of the day with all my friends sitting around in the room having our Oscar-like draft. Right?
Yeah.
So how everybody does that for the Oscars and the Emmys and such things. We of course did the same thing. We had our picks and had our cocktails about who's going to win tonight's awards that everybody's tuning into. So wearing the Sunday best so that I can represent properly and ready to go.
Absolutely. I hope you've all got your pools ready. Everybody's got their picks. It's going to be very exciting. I'll say right now, there were some surprises this year. There are some upsets. There are some dark horses, and there are some old favorites. It's going to be a year of surprise and wonder and mystery and excitement. So get ready. Here we go. So, gentlemen, are you prepared now? I want to be very clear here. All of the votes were tallied by our offshore Swiss accounting team. They were sealed in an envelope, brought to me by courier earlier today. And so I then sent it out to these fine gentlemen just before the show. So it's really, this has been a wonderful day of revelation for me as well. Are you all ready? Do you feel prepared, Will, Kieran?
There was a conspiracy theory going around that those votes and tallies were all kept secreted away and locked in a safe in the laundry room of Will's old high school. Is that true?
That is exactly true. Now that you have announced my hiding place, I'm going to have to find a new one, unfortunately. So way to ruin
it
it
every year. So because of that secret reason. So
it's always
past now, anyhow.
Yes, it's always something related to our past. Correct. Absolutely. All right. So let's get right into it. We've got a big one right up front, one with a lot of traction. And this year, that was Best Battle Reporter. So this was the first year we had this combined category. Obviously, last year, it was the Ninth Age and the AOS were separate. This year, nope. Everybody's in together. It was a free-for-all. And, I saw Andy and Rem talking about this as to whether or not they should be together or separate. There was a lot of discussion about this one. But let me say, the voting... It was not what people expected. So here we go. Let's take a look at our nominees. So in our Best Battle Reporter category, we had, of course, the esteemed Mr. Chihammer, he of the impressive guns and loud voice. We had Once Bitten 360, obviously the Godfather, I think we all know. Lord Tremendous, happy to have him back with us again. MC1 Gamer, Mitch, obviously clearly been bringing us AOS Battle Reports since the beginning. We had Commander Cheapskate, who does both some wonderful 9th and AOS battle reports. We had Andy 2D6, famous for the Porkening, as well as many other battle reports. Skaven and AZ, a man close to my heart because so many of his battle reports, they happen to focus on a race that I feel a great connection with in the Verminous Horde. We had Tuna Sandwichify, excellent battle reporter from not too far away from where I am in the country. Doom and Darkness, the other side of the world, our antipodal battle reporter. Tabletop Minis, great to see them making some reports. So that was, again, that's fantastic. And then Morehammer. We had a lot of great write-ins for this as well, but ultimately there can be only one winner. And I got to say, gentlemen, we're going to start off the night with an upset. That's right. It's in a shocking upset. The winner of this year's Best Battle Reporter is Andy 2D6. So dethroning the 2-year running champion Once Bitten, Andy 2D6 takes it.
That is a big deal.
It really was. It's a shocking turnabout, but Here we are. So Andy, and let's be honest, obviously Rem shares in this award too. I think we all know that. It is a great honor to them. As we'll reach out to everybody. I didn't say this at the beginning, but we'll reach out to everybody to send them their certificate of award, which will undoubtedly be hung on the wall. Get rid of your diplomas, your college, your masteries, your doctorates. Get those off the wall. Warhammer YouTuber Awards. So there we go. Starting off with a big one.
I would say about that a couple questions come up. Well, you said that there was conjecture and there was argument about whether there should be separate categories for battle reporters. And I reminded people that it can encompass not just AOS and or even Kings of War, 9th Age, Malifaux, 40K. Like there's people that do all that stuff in our community on YouTubers. So I'm glad that the voters took that all into its encompassment. There might have been a whole bunch of Kings of War voters that came to Andy 2D6 and voted him in. He does stuff for other Mantic games as well, like Warpath, etc. So I think he is bringing it in from all directions because he is that diverse in the stuff that he does.
It's a good point. He covers a lot of different games, a lot of different battle reports that may have been a factor in his strength in this showing. Absolutely.
Yeah. So congrats to our first winner.
There you go. All right. Will, I think that's over to you, brother.
All right, for the next category, we have Best AOS Content. And what we have here is, again, Andy 2D6, Commander Cheapskate, Doom and Darkness, Hooves of Doom, MC1 Gamer, Paul Conti, and of course, myself, William Page.
I've heard of him.
Yep. So, of course, I made sure to get the right envelope this time. Here we go. I'll open it up, unsealing. And
he's got props.
Oh my God, it's me. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually Doom and Darkness. That's one of my favorite channels to watch all the time. I get really sad when he doesn't post for a long time. From what I understand, he works in the middle of nowhere, apparently. So it's good to see that he wins. Great representation for AOS. I'm glad we kept these, of course, separate just so we can recognize each of the respective gangs out there. Maybe next year, if what Kieran was saying is true, maybe we'll have Best Malifaux content.
Oh, yeah. I like that idea. Absolutely. Ooh. So, yeah, big ups to Doom. That's congratulations. I know he's still off right now. You're right. He normally works out way out in the Outback, but he's back now. And so hopefully he's curled up by the fire, I would assume, or something, although it's the middle of summer there. So maybe by the air conditioner. And, he's enjoying probably a Foster's. It's Australia. And, and just reveling in his award.
And probably, hugging a cabbage.
Well. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Just probably modeling his new Maw Crusher. Yes, exactly.
For those that may have watched on Wednesday, you know what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, congratulations, sir. Couldn't have gone to a nicer fellow. I love it. Absolutely. There we go. All right.
Well,
Kieran, I think that's you, sir.
Well, conversely, we're going to switch over and we're going to talk about the Best 9th Age Content Producer. So I'll run through the nominees that we have for this category. Leading it off, and we're going to do this in alphabetical order because I like that order. Chihammer of great fame, who we have talked about, already mentioned in the prior Battle Reporter category, is what he's most famous for. But of course, he was at the ATC for last year and did lots of content surrounding that. Commander Cheapskate appears again for the third category in a row. This guy is doing it all. Third nominee was Lord Tremendous, who came back from his hiatus and hate of Warhammer to rejoin the 9th Age in strength. The historically humongous Once Bitten 360 is here, very involved in 9th Age in lots of capacities. Our other Arizona friend, Skaven and AZ, representing well with 9th Age and his analysis of that. Coming from the other side of the pond in Europe, the Orange Road, new to YouTube this year, has come on strong with, again, lots of 9th Age content. Your other pal nearby, Tuna Sandwichify, appears in this category too, on the strength of his battle reports mainly, but he also does some other content of discussion. And then finally, similarly with both battle reports and lengthy discussion and analysis about Ninth Age, another new channel this year, Wargaming from the Balcony. So with Ninth Age going through all kinds of changes and iterations this year, there certainly was a wealth through all of these people. And I want to commend every single person beyond these nominees for the efforts that they've made in keeping up with such a dynamic year in that game. But to get to the business here, I have to reveal that not an upset, but a repeat performer this year, Chihammer is our winner of Best Ninth Age Content. So, tacking it on to last year's victory, he continues to hold the belt. Well done, sir.
Can't be stopped.
Yeah, can't be stopped.
Kieran?
Yes.
That wasn't right.
Have I gotten it wrong?
Yep.
Oh boy. I'm just doing this for the sake of the Steve Harvey moment.
Yes, exactly. I don't want to have a Steve Harvey moment, but yes, Chihammer may have something coming, but it wasn't this one.
All right. Well, because I needed to interject a Steve Harvey moment in there, I'm now gonna apologize to the second runner-up. I'm gonna apologize to the champion, and thank goodness we didn't have any tiaras or flowers to give out, because this would have gotten worse. But upon further review, in fact, the true winner of this category is the obnoxious one himself. It is Lord Tremendous of the Bayou. So well done, congratulations, and thanks for fighting through the confusion. There
you go. Yes, it's okay. It's all right. It's a live show, folks. It's a live show. Yes, congratulations to Lord Tremendous. I will say that Chihammer was a close runner-up, and we may come back to our old friend James here before the night is over. So, you know, all you Chihammer fans, fret not. That's all I'll say. But yes, congratulations, LT. Fantastic win. Super deserved. And I think we all celebrated when the Tremendous one returned to us and brought a host of new content along. And he dove back in, as he does everything, feet first, and it's been wonderful to have him back. So
I'm sorry, guys. I really feel like Chihammer just had it stolen from him.
It was certainly a Beyonce Taylor Swift moment. We needed Kanye to come on the stage for sure.
Well, I was actually communicating with our security detail earlier tonight, and they assured me that they have sequestered Kanye West, so that he's not be interfering.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear he's been taken to a separate off-site location. All right, so let's jump right on to the next category. We'll leave that one behind, and we're going to talk about best hobby advice. Obviously, this one is one very close to my heart, and you know, because the hobby advice and the hobby itself is obviously what I love. I love hobbying all across, no matter the miniature type. I even got some of my first 40K miniatures recently just to hobby on. How about that? So at any rate, we had some great people who I want to commend each and every one, because all of these people take time and effort to share their knowledge and their wisdom with all of us. And the reality is, I am positive I have benefited from each and every person on this list. So let's see, who did we have? Well, of course, right out of the gate, I think a man who needs very little introduction, Victor Case, who has not missed a week in I don't know how many weeks of having hobby advice, and he does a lot of other talking videos, and he shows you all sorts of techniques, paints through figs. It's great stuff. Newer entrant, Paper Cuts, which if you're not watching Paper Cuts stuff, let me tell you now, you're doing a disservice to yourself. The man has incredibly detailed, high-quality tutorials, puts me to shame, and does amazing stuff. The Terrain Tutor, I don't think I need to explain to all the terrainiacs out there how good the Terrain Tutor stuff is. Absolutely amazing. We got Dice Miniature Paint Guy, who, again, just prolific. So much content, so much instructions and unboxings and sharings and paintings and everything. We got Tabletop Lenny, another newer one, but then's been doing some great stuff. And then, of course, we have Tabletop Minions. And, of course, that's got to be jointly shared by both Adam and Sam, because Sam is the the hobby tutorial guy, and Adam is sharing a bunch of great advice all the time. If you ever watch his Sunday live shows, you'll know that there's a ton of hobby questions, and he does his best to share a ton of advice out there. So this was a close category overall. This had a lot of people who were very close, but in the end, there can be only one, and the winner was Tabletop Minions. Adam and the people, they came out, they took it. So I'm going to say Adam has to share this one jointly with Sam Lenz, who's just one of the most amazing painters and shares some amazing stuff. So congratulations to both gentlemen, and I look forward to more Sam tutorials in the future. So absolutely big ups, big congratulations to both of you. There you go.
Wonderful stuff.
All right.
Tremendous.
Will, back to you, sir.
All right, in our next category, it is called the most thought-provoking content. The most thought-provoking content award goes to the person who provoked the thought that could be provoked no more, because to provoke thought beyond thought-provoked would be instead to have unprovoked thought. And so, our first nominee is Andy 2D6, Hooves of Doom, Once Bitten 360, Tabletop Banter, Tabletop Minions, and Victor, last name, Case.
Case. Victor Case.
I should learn how to say his name, if that's not correct.
I think you just did learn.
Well, there we go. So, these are your nominees. I will take any bets.
Yeah.
No.
Everybody check off and bring up your checklists at home.
So the winner of the most thought-provoking content is definitely an icon of our community. It is Once Bitten 360. I don't even play Ninth Age, and I would just today, I just put on one of his videos just to have in the background and listen to. So it's just he's always good at just explaining things for things that I don't even understand. He brings them to my level, and I can appreciate them.
Yeah, I want to talk just real quick on this category. This was the least close category. Okay. Like, to be very clear to everybody out there watching and to Once Bitten, OB won in an absolute landslide. The highest number of votes that any single person got in a single category belongs to OB in this category. So he crushed it. I think you're exactly right. I think a lot of people recognize that OB, between his philosophical ramblings and just explaining tactics and stuff like that, he provokes your thoughts to be a better player, to think about the nature of the game, your place in it, your place in how you're interacting with your opponents. Just the way he conducts himself, even on his battle reports, and explains himself. I think he elevates the whole game and provokes all of us to think more about how we can play and be better players in general. So there you go. All right.
Very good.
Kieran, it's you, buddy.
Yeah, well, I'm going to move on and talk about the most consistent content. This is a deserved award for a number of reasons. First of all, the quality of the content is what's going to bring the winner of this to the top level. But the consistency of the content is something that all of us as viewers appreciate, because they give us something to tune into regularly. And that has a great deal of value. It's a time commitment for all those folks, and their effort certainly deserves to be appreciated. So the ones that we had narrowed down to for our nominees in this were Andy 2D6, who of course does his regular Tuesdays with Remington Steel, but also does a regular Friday and all the battle reports besides. Chihammer, who we mentioned earlier, does lots of Ninth Age battle reports and some other coverage of it. Dice Miniature Paint Guy, who is all over the place with unboxings, painting, videos, hobby stuff, beyond. Hooves of Doom, our other friend of the channel, who is regularly putting in commentary and thought-provoking stuff as well. And lastly, we'll name once again Victor Case, who, as you said earlier, has not missed a week in recent memory of banging stuff out. But here we go to the winners, and I'm going to check this twice to be absolutely certain. And now that I look at it, I realize that I was only simply getting ahead of myself before and reading you the ringer of the wrong category. So this one is, in fact, before I say it, 100% sure, this is Chihammer. That is our winner of this category.
Yeah, I can't be loud enough to celebrate him, but I'll assume somewhere, if you listen closely, you can hear a loud scream echoing from the Chicagoland area. And that is, of course, James celebrating his win. Yeah, big ups to James. Chihammer's regularly putting out great battle reports, and it's consistency, and people definitely came out and recognized that.
Yeah, well deserving.
All right. So I guess that brings it back to the next category.
That is correct. That's all you.
Best New Series. So let me pull up the nominees here. So our first nominee is 2D6, or 2D Sick. I love that name. Next one is AOS Close-Ups. We then have Crit Damage Miniature Games. Of course, MC1 Gamers Build Me an Army. We have Tactica Tuesday. We have The Orange Road. And finally, Wargaming from the Balcony. So how close were these categories, Vince?
This is one of the closest. So like all in all, the delta on a lot of these is within like 1 percentage point, that kind of thing, like on down the line. There's a couple of groupings, but this was a very close category. But the winner, I will say, was clear. And I'm excited about it because he's a good guy, and I don't want to steal your thunder, so take it away, sir.
Of course. And this, of course, was also a mix of different types of games. It was AOS and Ninth Age. And our winner is the new to me, and I think new to this year, The Orange Road. He's a Ninth Age content producer, and so from what I understand, he goes over a lot of things such as which units are underappreciated. He's been a big voice for Ninth Age, kind of looking through all the rules. Kieran, if there's anything else you'd like to add to that too, now would be the time.
Yeah, certainly. He's a Netherlands-based guy that is deeply involved with the Ninth Age and their content team, and he has been steadily for 2/3 of this year putting out content with a very regular basis as an active player in the Ninth Age and a very big proponent of that game's global success, I would say.
Well, it's great that they have people like that already, pushing the game so well. So congratulations to the Orange Road.
Absolutely, and big ups, because the Orange Road has been making content for about 6 months. I went and looked at this before the show.
Oh, wow.
That's it. And he didn't even do the whole year. 6 months, he still came out ahead. People clearly favor him. And in 6 months, the man has made 120 episodes of content. Okay?
I've made that many.
Let us all take a moment to be amazed at the prolific nature of this man. So I think Chihammer and people like Chihammer and Andy, they're gonna have a run for their money next year if the Orange Road keeps at it for most consistent content. Let me just say that right now, because the man is a machine of content production. So there you go. All right. So that brings us to best model submission painting. I'm not going to go through every nominee because there was a lot. There was a lot of great painting. This were all people who were submitted into the PMP, the Painters Motivating Painters hobby community. As I do with any video where we mention it, I'll link it down below. It's our hobby community related to the YouTubers. If you want to join us, you can click that link and join up. There were many great submissions, a lot of amazing stuff, but in the end, often with these painting things, it's a lot of aesthetic. And so you tend to see a pretty even spread. Like what I usually see in my analytics is almost like, just a column, right? Where the winners are ahead of the next people behind them by, a few votes. That was not the case this year. This was the second most clear category behind most consistent. And there was one and only one winner of this. And that is the one and only Micky Jenver, who won for her Glottkin, which we will now share. There we go. Let's all take a look and bask in the glory of this awful but wonderful Nurgle nightmare. So we just zoom in here. Notice the goop and sort of sliminess everywhere. All this attention to detail. The wonderful base, the water effects, the crafted tentacles coming out, every little boil and pustule that was lavished upon, his eyeballs in his skin, and all sorts of other horrible, horrible things. He is a nightmare incarnate, and this is a well-deserved award.
I love how especially with that tentacle arm, where it goes from green to kind of a grayish, pinkish look, and it's not. It's like a stark difference, but it's not a stark change. It kind of flows really nicely. So I don't know. That's one of my favorite part of the model is where you can do that with the skin.
Yeah, this is something that I don't feel that we can truly lavish enough praise upon. Micky is masterful at her craft, an icon to so many of us that are involved in the PMP League, and all the accolades that we can offer are really well deserved. The hundreds and hundreds of hours that go into the craft of this part of the hobby should be, and I'm glad that we keep it as part of this YouTubers Awards, because it is something that spurs it along just as much as the video content that we see out there, in my opinion.
Absolutely. You know, I know Micky spent 6, 7, 8 months on this, and I'll tell you what, it's such a long time, but this is what came out of it is just sheerly amazing. I mean, let's be honest here. So a centerpiece of centerpieces that anybody should be proud to have, and I think this is something Micky should be proud of for the rest of her life. It's just gorgeous.
Art. It's art.
Absolutely. No doubt. All right. So
let's move on to our next category then, of the other creative side of things. So we did a category for the best conversion. Again, this was pooled from dozens and dozens of entries out of the PMP league over the course of the year. So we had all sorts of levels of creativity, from bits box mashing and green stuff sculpting and mashing cross genre things together. There's a lot of things that come to mind here. Marok Wolf and his sculpting of various wolf and lizard man figures. Ambastir with his creations in the woodlands with his tree creatures. We saw a lot of 40K conversions as well along the way that deserve some nods. But ultimately, when we come to the absolute winner, Vince, if you're ready to cue up the photo.
I am prepared.
This is by a fine craftsman by the name of Stu Gibson. You are our champion this year for the efforts that you put together on these wonderful Nurgle-esque orcs, strapping together all sorts of bits and rusting them out and making them look pustully, even to the point of making a couple of lead guys look like just overgrown, brutish nerdlings.
I think we've got to give full credit to this guy on the right. I think this guy is what stands out. This conversion with the mouth in the torso of the orc is so nightmarish. I think this guy, it's fantastic. But yeah, you got to note the little Nurgle horns on everything. It just looks so wonderfully Nurgle-y. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, the extra efforts, I want to bring people's attention to some extra, maybe small details that you pass over immediately, and all the pock marks and gouges that he's done on the armor is actually quite a painstaking thing to work through, and he's crafted all that in there, and that adds so much more depth and character to this unit. That's a wonderful touch that I'm sure garnered him a fair number of votes.
Absolutely. I think what this tells us is that it's the year of Nurgle, apparently, taking both categories. Yeah, it's if it's green and gross, then you got a winner. That's what I think. So congratulations, Stu. Very well deserved. And I loved this from the first moment he posted up that conversion, because I had never seen anybody combine these two factions together, or these two concepts in this way. I thought it was really unique, and I think clearly many other people agreed with me. So there you go.
Yeah, it's one thing to just take something and poke holes into a weapon, but the way he's done it, it looks like he looked at a piece of paper or not a picture to see how do weapons corrode, possibly.
Right.
They look really natural for being unnatural.
Yeah, well deserved, Stu.
All right. So that brings us, of course, now that was all the categories that you could vote on. But of course, there is one more category. The final category, the category, if you will. And that is best overall. And best overall is the completely democratic selection. It is done solely by the basically the nominee that gets the most votes across all categories. So, you know, the more sort of places that someone is represented, if they're doing battle reports and they're doing content maybe for both games and they also do hobby stuff or whatever, certainly that can increase their chances. But in the end, all that matters is that enough people vote for you across the whole thing that you are the out-and-out winner. And this year, there was one clear across-the-board vote getter with, by a factor of almost, by about 150% above his nearest competitor. There you go. That's how to say it. And that is the one, the only, the Godfather, the once bitten 360. It's that he is a legend, and he, you know, obviously, as I mentioned, most consistent alone, he was the clear winner. He was also a huge vote getter, obviously, in several other categories. So it's not surprising. And big congratulations to OB, our best overall.
Is that his first year win for that?
It is. That's the first time he's won best overall. Yes,
About time.
absolutely.
Yeah, last year was, I think I recall, it was Doom and Darkness last year.
It was Doom and Darkness last year,
Overall,
and then Ant the year before that. Yep. So
Back of that.
absolutely, we've got it's been rotating every year. When will we have somebody repeat? The only streak we had really was broken already, so we got it now to start over again. We'll see. Can OB hold his crown next year? 2 years in a row for best overall? Who knows? There's a lot of good content production being had, so it's going to be another tough year. So, gentlemen, what do you think overall about our list of winners? Will, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think that it's surprising and well-deserved that Once Bitten won best overall. I'm a little sad to see that Ant wasn't here this year in any categories. I haven't seen his channel in a while, so maybe he's just kind of stopped with all sort of content. So there's a variety of other people that aren't on this list that I wish were still here. Maybe they'll come back in the future. But overall, I think everybody out there deserved it, and it was great to see some new faces win some stuff, and I look forward to next year to see if there's even more new faces.
Absolutely. Kieran, what are your thoughts?
Well, I want to build on what Will said there. Like, certainly there's some missing icons from the past. Like you mentioned, Ant, who did Sustainable Center and switched it to HR before he's faded off. But reborn from the Phoenix of the Dark has been Lord Tremendous to come back and snap up an award this year, right? There's always a little bit of attrition with the hobby in general, and there's no reason to expect that's not going to happen with YouTube too. So that's why I appreciate so much all these new content producers that have come forth this year as well, to keep fulfilling our brains and our eyeballs and our ears with wonderful stuff to soak in.
Completely agree. You know, when I look at the list of nominees and I look at some of the newer people who are out there who have really started making a lot of content in the last year, you look at your 2D Sick, your Orange Road, your Hooves of Doom, these kind of people, Wargaming from the Balcony, you know, they're newer to differing degrees, but all have really come into it in the last year. And they all got a lot of votes. There are people out there who've got their fans. Every one of them had some votes. Might not have been enough to clinch their category, but who can say if that'll be the case next year? So you know, the senior fellows here who may have been, you know, who've managed to get an award every year, can't be resting on your laurels. No, don't sit on those heels. The newbies are snapping right behind. They're hungry. They want that title. And the brass ring is there if you reach out and take it. That's what I'll say. So I love seeing all this new stuff from everybody. There's a lot of other people that we talked about, or we mentioned that I want to say have made great stuff that I've enjoyed, like Commander Chiefskate and 2D Sick and all these great people who are new and are making stuff. So thank you to everybody new and old who's made so much great content. All the nominees, all the winners. Absolutely wonderful. Everybody on this list, it frankly is a greatest part of my hobby enjoyment. They're all wonderful members of this community, and I want to thank everyone for all the wonderful work they do. So there you go. All right.
Now, we should take a moment to talk about the loot and
that's
the
right.
prize of all this, right?
That's right.
So we're going to create, as we did last year for the first time, create a certificate that you can proudly display upon your wall and maybe keep it in the background while you're doing your videos, so that everybody can appreciate the stature and the grandeur with which you are an accomplished YouTuber. So in order to do that, each of the folks that we have listed as winners today, I would like to hear from you directly. I'll provide my Gmail in the description after the show ends and when it publishes. Please reach out to me. I'm going to need a mailing address for you so that I can get out this crisp, lovely, embossed, and certified certificate of YouTuber award. And I will mail that across the world. I see that I have to go to a few spots in Europe, down to the down across the other side of the world a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Throughout the U.S. Yeah.
It's going to be the postmen are going to be carrying the awards worldwide. We are true, like Pitbull. We are Mr. Worldwide. Absolutely.
Yeah, a good testament to our global community.
Absolutely. All right. So, gentlemen, any closing thoughts? Any final thing to say before we end for the night and bid adieu until next year's awards?
No, I'm just excited to see all the new content that's going to be coming this year. It's always inspirational to watch it, and then it gets me off my butt and I start doing stuff again.
There you go. Okay, Kieran, could we get, what about you? You gonna be vying for most consistent next year?
Well, that may honestly be a stretch if I'm to know my limitations, but certainly what it's going to spur more than I did in 2015 or 2016. How about that?
There you go. I'll take it.
I'll give you a half-ass commitment.
I like it. I'll take it. I'll take half. I'll take the whole. Whatever we can get. That sounds good. To everybody out there, thank you very much for watching. In about an hour, if you're watching this live, around 10 p.m. Eastern, Tom and I are going to do the charity Q&A and giveaway. So if you're interested, come back to the channel in about a little more than an hour, and we're going to do that. So that should be a rip-roaring amount of fun. Once again, I want to thank all the nominees, all the winners. Don't forget Kieran's email down below. Reach out to him, send him your info so that we can get you out your wonderful certificate, and it can hang on your wall. It'll be the highlight of your entire life, I'm sure. So there you go. For everybody else, thank you very much. Will, Kieran, once again, deeply appreciative. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for another great year. And to all of you out there, we'll see you next year.
Good night.